already on live. Bright Way Immigration and Asylum Practitioners, good afternoon. My name is Tokunbo Olagbaye. If you are just joining us for the first time on how to regularize your status in the United Kingdom, we are live in the studio, Nigeria 101.1 FM in the United Kingdom. The telephone number to reach us in the studio is on 07496 936 110, 07496 936 110. Live program right in the studio, Nigeria 101.1 FM radio station in the United Kingdom. My name is Tokunbo Olagbaye again. I am a qualified solicitor of the Supreme Court of England and Wales, and I am also a senior immigration practitioner in the United Kingdom. So for me to come out and give you any information, it is well clear that I have it within my possession from the government before I will dish it out. Anything that is not clear to me, I will not answer your question. I will be back to give you the response. In that manner, I will not give you a negligent advice. And I too, as a professional person, will not be committing negligence in my professional capacity. We are in the studio right now. It is completely different from the situation when we are on the Facebook. Even though I linked this with Facebook right now, but we're in studio, Nigeria 101.1 FM. Good afternoon to you all that are just coming on, and to you that always come on every time you got my notification. I appreciate you, and I am humble as well. I love you because without your support to be online listening to me, it will be very tiring to talk to yourself without anybody listening to you. I haven't got the engineer around at the moment, so I won't be able to touch any of the equipment to loud it. I will try as much as possible to speak clear up for you to have the volume. But the studio situation is quite different. We have to purport ourselves within the media situation. So it's different from social media. Now, like I said earlier on in my pre-informed that I'll be coming on live at 2 p.m. today. I have to apologize that we start very late. And it's not only me, it's every program that started before me. I think something must have happened in between that made them not to start in time. So as a result of that, we are all running late, all of us. I've been around for over 30 minutes, but I have to continue to wait for the program before me to finish, before I can come on live. My apologies to that for everyone waiting to come online, for me to come online. I am really sorry. It was an act that is beyond my power to control. So my apology. I want to talk about the issue that I have always liked to talk about when it comes to the dealing with entry clearance cases. Now, when we talk of entry, I'm talking about people bringing in their wife or husband. It continues to repeat itself and it becomes repetitive because people continue to make the same mistake all the time. And the reason why the mistake is voluminous is as a result of too know, overconfidence. They will go to the government website to go and read it, and hence there they believe that they can make the application by themselves. Believe me or not, you cannot understand the small print. No matter what you read from the government site, you will never understand the small print. Because as a practitioner, we know what the judges are looking for. We know what the Secretary of State is looking for. And this is why I keep on saying to you guys, if you don't take advice and you keep on putting in overconfidence to go and submit application for your wife or for your husband, mainly because you are in the UK, you're going to be falling foul all the time. You will waste money, it will cost you time, it will stress you, it will depress you, and if care is not taken, it will break your relationship. It will break your relationship if care is not taken out of overconfidence or over too know. And this is the reason why it prompts me following my meeting yesterday with the senior practitioners and those who have the in and out in the UK to come out again today after reading all the documents and the dossier and the guidance. And I realized that particularly Nigerian is far beyond meeting the requirements every time. They are far beyond, they are still behind. And the reason why it's like that is just because Nigerians think they are educated. It is true you are educated, and I accepted that you are educated, but I'm having problems in dealing with you because you don't listen. And when people don't listen, they cannot get it right. No matter what, you won't get it. Because you need to listen to those who have the knowledge and understanding, and then you can benefit from there on. If you just jump into the website and thinking that you want to go and make an application, you're going to waste your money to submit the application. You're going to stress yourself, like I said, and you probably will lose your partner if care is not taken. Nigeria is a different country entirely. There are times that people don't have time to wait too long. So another person come to their front, they look at it and say, why not? Why do I have to kill myself for the guy in the UK? You understand? So you need to take advice. You have to be very, very careful. The system of the appeal we are having now, it has now boiled down to only 4 ways of making your appeal from 17. So the Immigration Act 2014 has come into effect and have changed so many things. And as a result of that, it is now obvious that all the reasons you can use before as to the reason why you're not agreeing with the Secretary of State and the reason for refusal has now been boiled down to 4 from 17. So the appeal has now been reduced to 4. And when we said it reduced to 4, then it means that anyone who is coming to the United Kingdom, you will only use human rights to argue your case if you are refused. And if you are refused because bank statement is not in there, it is not the duties of the judge or the case workers to put the bank statement in place for you. Your responsibility is still there to ensure that all the necessary documents required are in place at the time of submission. If you are missing any of those and you go on appeal, you are going to fail in appeal. So you will have to go and make a fresh application. If you missed out on any of them for one reason or another, I can tell you categorically, you will have to go back and go and make a fresh application. You won't succeed in your appeal. Now, the typical scenario I have before me, I think this family make application for themselves, by themselves anyway. For the woman is in the United Kingdom and want to bring her husband into the country to join. This application has probably been made since, I think the application was made around 2000 and yes. They got married in 2013 and I think application was submitted in 2015. Yes, application was submitted 2015 because it was refused by the respondent, which is the Secretary of State, on the 9th of October 2015. It went into appeal. It went into appeal, and it took longer than necessary for appeal to be heard. Only this month, last Friday. Last week Friday, the appeal was heard, and the result came out yesterday. So I have the case before me now that they want me to have a look at, but I'll be giving advice to go and make a new application. There is nothing to appeal to upper court for permission. That is the advice I'm going to be giving to the owner of this case, because they have brought it to me in my absence yesterday. Excuse me, and I've looked at it carefully, and I realized that the documents they asked for, the document Secretary of State asked for, were not there at the time. So obviously, there is no way it can succeed. There's no way it will succeed. There's no way it's going to succeed anyway. So the situation here now is that the judges are now saying that the responsibilities is placed on the appellant, which is the person who submitted the case, to ensure that the information are satisfied before the entry clearance officer. If they are not, on appeal, they're not going to allow it. So which means that your waiting is meaningless. Now, if you calculate that waiting, we are in June. Appeal was it was refused October 2015. That is more than 18 months wait. November, December, the whole of 2016, it's 14 months, and then plus 6 months here, it's 20, plus 5 months here, it's 19 months wait. So you can see 19 months. In between, they will have put in another application, and it will have gone in successfully. So if you're out there and you are listening to me now, please don't even go forward to go and make application, or to go and put in a refusal. If you don't take advice, go and put in an appeal for refusal. You're not going to go far with it. So I am imploring you at this stage that please take advice before you proceed. Take advice before you move on. If you don't take advice, you're not going to succeed. If you go on appeal, you're not going to succeed. So I think this is the right time for us to get it right now, because like I said to you, appeal has completely been pushed down. Appeal has completely been pushed down, to just only 4 reasons out of 17, and among which you only allowed to put in an appeal right under human rights. And if you do put it under human rights, it will not have to go on documentation that you're supposed to put in place. So typical example the judge in this case is saying is that he's the case owner, which is the appellant. Is he expecting the case workers, which is the home office staff, or the entry clearance rather, or the judge or the court clerk, to put in the missing document for him? That is the question being asked. Is he expecting judge or the court clerks to assist in putting the documents in? The answer is obviously no. So basically, it's boiled down to you, the owner of that case. If you are desperate to bring in your husband or your wife into the country, you need to take advice. And when we talk of taking advice, you'll be taking advice from someone like me that understands what she's doing, that can easily guide you. And in most cases, it is not advisable to go and do the application by yourself, because you won't go far with it. What do you know you want to write to include in your letter of representation? How do you want to argue your case? How do you want to argue your case? So it's an area that you really have to understand. I've always been on Nigeria FM, so that person should understand me. I've always been on the radio in the last 10 years, so I've always been a staff of the radio. So I'm a radio celebrity anyway. So I've always been on the radio. So it's not just Facebook. Facebook is only in the last, the live Facebook only came in recently, not even long ago. But I've been on the radio for quite a while. So yes, you are right. I've always been on the radio. Thank you very much. So I want us to focus on the documents that you are supposed to put in place, because bear it in mind, you are caught. Bear it in mind, you are caught by the reason on income threshold. You are caught. So you will need to understand that you have to meet the income threshold requirement as the spouse living in the United Kingdom. You must meet the requirement. If you don't meet the requirement, it's going to be very difficult for your loved person to come to UK. So the first thing you have to be aware of is that you must be working and you must earn minimum of 18,600 per annum before tax is deducted. Anyway, before tax is deducted, you have to earn that much. Now, as part of the reason why this judge refused this particular matter that they brought to me, as part of the reason is that there were no clear evidence of relationship. The judge accepted that it's subsisting, but there wasn't clear much documentation to show that the sponsor traveled from time to time to the husband in Nigeria. There wasn't much. So when you talk of evidence, we mean evidence. You'll be looking in detail, evidence of relationship, which part of it will be you're traveling to visit your husband or wife in Nigeria. But I want you to bear it in mind. If you are in a previous relationship and you have not dissolved that relationship, you're not going to go far. Oh yes. If you are in a previous relationship and you have not dissolved it, and you are now saying that you are making an application, or you probably dissolve it later on, even though the application is not asking you when you have what you have taken, steps you have taken to dissolve your relationship before you commence a new one, they will take it against you. It will go against you, definitely. It will go against you. Yeah, it will go against you. So you will really need to make sure that if you are in a previous relationship, before submitting an application to the Secretary of State outside the country, you will have to show that that relationship has been completely dissolved. If you can't show that it has been completely dissolved, you will not go far with it. They're going to refuse you. They're going to refuse you. So I'm going to implore you at this junction that you should be taking advice. That is to do with relationship. As part of what is required on relationship, you'll be looking at subsisting and genuinity of it. So you must have evidence of traveling in and out to see your spouse, which means that you must have evidence of traveling to Nigeria to see your husband, photographs that you have taken together. You see, in the relationship where you have kids, it's so easy sometimes, but not all the time. But when they're children or child, they tend to take you serious. Now, if I were in your shoes, the dirty long of what is it called? The delay and the long waiting for appeal to be held in the UK Immigration Tribunal, it's really irritating me personally as a legal practitioner. It's really irritating me, and as a result of that, I would probably be making a new application if I am in your shoes. But I would not even want to fall foul, because I will be taking advice from somebody who knows what she is doing if I were to be in your shoes, so that I don't have to waste money twice and I don't have to stress myself, because the delay can stress you, it can depress you, and it can cost your relationship if care is not taken. Now, the judge is also saying that if you're seeking to rely on Article 8, you will really need to establish it clearly. why it is crucial that they have to look at that case that has already failed on entry clearance. So the reason why you want them to look at it on appeal, you really have to show it clearly. You have to show it. Now, the judge said here that if you omitted in your application to put in bank statements or properly attested duplicate bank statement, and these things were not produced, and there was no any evidence that were laid on point, you're not going to succeed on appeal. If you don't have your bank statement at the time you submitted, and you are expecting the entry clearance officer to take it on the face value, and they refuse your application, the judge will also refuse you at the same time. Line is open on 07496936110, and I'm also on 07908628240, 07908628240. Line is open so that we can be taking questions at the same time. We don't leave ourselves outside. Line is open right now, 07908 628 240, 07908 628 240. Line is open, 0496936110. Line is open. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Ekasan. Ekrole. Agbára Ọlọ́run.
Esma, I really appreciate the program. Confident with that Birmingham. I don't know what to question now.
Carry on.
Esma, this is a little straight me. No overstay visa movement. No British. The application was last year August, and more than biometric left the bank. But that is the book of command.
It's the application was lórí ọmọ tó jẹ́ British citizen, and that was last year October.
Exactly.
I think it's just you are just inside the delay, inside the backlog, so that's fine.
Last month, no contact entered or one and but I get back, no, so the ones of the our appellate will pending application. People, but I want to do so time to the application in my daddy, so we have this sign at that time.
No. That's the only thing that they can say, because it's quite huge. What is it called, backlog? They have a huge backlog in their offices, and it's very difficult for them to tell you anyway when it's going to be ready. Just 6 months still pass. Your 6 months must have passed anyway.
9 months, not must update the application for that biometrics 6 months.
Yeah, I think you still just have to continue to wait for them, because I have similar matter as well, so that's no problem. You're most welcome. Bye. Yeah, bye. So when it comes to submitting documents at the entry clearance offices overseas, you will have to take advice before you put it in. Stop using lawyers on ground in your local country, because they don't understand immigration and nationality law. Application of such can be made from England, and then you can go and submit it yourself, or try and send it to your partner or your wife or husband to print it out on the system with the document and submit it. You need to have somebody who understands immigration and nationality rules very well before you can even proceed to submit that application. So I wouldn't necessarily want you to think that it's something that you can just brush aside and walk over and give it to anybody anyhow to submit and to prepare for you. That's going to cost you. And in a scenario whereby wrong document is inserted, like a fake document, fake document, it will cost your wife or husband to come to UK 10 years to wait. It will cost them 10 years to wait. So that's going to be a lot of problem. So I don't want you to fall into that kind of situation. So if you are the partner, you are in the UK, and your wife is outside there, I think you should take advice. If you are the wife here and your husband is out there, I think you should take advice so that you don't make a journey of Israelite. You know, so you don't make a journey of Israelite, which I think a lot of people understand what I mean by that. The telephone number is 07908 628 240. You know, 07908 628 240. So we are live right now, Nigeria 101.1 FM. So you can call on 07908 628 240. What is exactly bothering your mind in relation to immigration matter in the UK? But like as I was saying, on spouse entry clearance, you have to ensure that you have all the bank statements in place. You have your pay slips. They have to mirror each other, you know. And it will be the only way out. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Kassan.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Mostly like to make an inquiry.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
we just for visiting.
What's your
to
kidney?
come and see our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got the 2.5 years the family room because my husband is British and my children are also British. How can I go about it, ma'am?
I think your husband should be making that visit application, invitation.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have marriage certificate?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your husband should be inviting your mother in.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. And can we do that here or we have to make the process in Nigeria?
You can do it with our office from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
The telephone number in the office to call when you want to book your appointment is 0208 309 8808. 0208 309 8808. 0208 309 8808. That is the number you have to call when you want to book appointment. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Ekason.
Yes, ma'am. Mo fẹ́ bèrè nípa èmi wà ní ìyàwó mi wà ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n á fẹ́ mú wọlé bọ̀ èyí tèmi ní lọ́wọ́ ń bì àwọn ní 2 years and a half ni. Mo á kò ṣe ó ṣe lórí tí mo ní lọ́wọ́ yẹn láti yẹn fáìtẹ̀ wọlé.
Wọ́n kàn fẹ́ wá fọ́ ìdí lásán ni.
Màá fẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ kó fẹ́ dúró ní mà.
Ẹ̀yin ni ṣé British lẹ́yìn?
Ara o.
Kí lẹ́yìn ní?
Ọlọ́dún méjì àbọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ní mi.
Jẹ́ kó wọlé o.
Bọ̀dẹ́ pé mo fẹ́ kó wá fún fíṣítì lọ́jọ́ padà kọ́.
Ọ̀nà wo lẹ́yìn fi gba 2.5 years yẹn?
Lórí ọmọ yẹn mi gbà.
Bọ̀tọ̀ ọmọ yẹn ní ìyá náà.
Ìyá tiẹ̀ wà ń bí ìyá tiẹ̀ ní British.
They're not gonna give you still yet. They're not gonna give you.
Okay.
Yes.
Bàtà kọ́mọ ló pẹ̀lú àti ẹ̀pọ̀ ni.
Ìyẹn ò kan British government. The whole idea is that the British government does not want the country to turn to a battleground for two women to be fighting on a man. So they would rather want to protect the one that is inside, which is the British citizen or settled person, rather than allowing somebody else to come in again and start fighting that person and start fighting the other person. Obi mo for coming. You see what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, I'm on the media here. So can you book appointments? Come and see me on consultation, please.
Okay. Then.
Please, I think it's the way forward. Please.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye. There are some complicated issues that I cannot answer online on media because the world is watching. The world is watching. So when it comes to you asking questions, please be a bit diplomatic. I like it like that. Be a bit diplomatic so that we will know at least what we are saying and how to go about it. And we will not step on the authorities' toes. Please, I implore you. Hello? Do you understand? So when you are asking questions, please be conservative with the question. Before I go on, the word conservative just remind me something now. Some of my clients is pushing me to remind you that if you have not registered to vote, go and register and go out and vote on the 8th of June. Because if you don't vote, then you don't have any reason to have a say in the situation that we are in the United Kingdom. If you're living in the UK and you have not registered your interest to vote on 8th of June, most of my clients that are so eloquent and conversant with the manifestos, they have told me to let you know on my line to advise you that you should go and register yourself now. It's not too late. Try to register your interest so you can vote on the 8th of June. If you don't vote, you will not have a say. But I am not canvassing for any political party. I am a lawyer. I'm not a politician. But all I understand is that go on website, go and read the manifestos and decide who you want to vote for, who is going to favor you. But I am not canvassing at all. I'm not canvassing for any political party. I'm a legal practitioner and I want to remain like that. It's a different professional career entirely. They're not the same. So whoever you want to vote for, that's your prerogative. But please, go and register your interest so that you can vote on the 8th of June. If you don't do that, don't come and cry on my doorstep that conservative have said this, Labour has said that. You cannot have a say if you don't vote. So only when you vote, you will be part of the system in the country. Àìsí níbẹ̀ láì bá wọn dá sí ìdálù ní ìṣèlú ibi téèyàn bá ń gbé lèèyàn ti máa ń get involved, lèèyàn ti máa ń impact. You are not a Nigerian resident after 3, 4, 5 years. Don't make mistake. You are a resident of the United Kingdom, regardless of any other odds. So you need to register your interest and vote as soon as we are going in on the 8th of June for whichever political party that you think will favor your interest in the UK. That's up to you. I am not campaigning for any party. I'm a legal practitioner and I intend to remain like that. Hello?
Hello, ma.
Yes. Yes,
ma.
Thank you.
Mo ní partner mi bí British ni but ó lọ́mọ ní Nàìjíríà but wọ́n wà ní ọ̀bẹ̀mẹ̀ so person láti lọ́mọ ọ̀yọ́ wọlé.
Partner ti yín àbí?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
O British dẹ̀ ni partner yín yẹn?
Bẹ́ẹ̀.
Ó wá lọ́mọ ní Nàìjíríà?
Bẹ́ẹ̀.
How old lọ́mọ yẹn?
Ọmọ ẹ̀ máa pé 15.
15? 16?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ó lè mú wọlé bí kò lè mú wọlé but ọkàn ó máa go through a lot of, she's going to go through a lot of hassles because the question will be asking why did she have to left her child till this stage, 16 years, and how long has she got her settlement status in the UK?
She's on benefit.
Say that again.
She's on benefit.
She's on... No. In terms of her bringing her child in, that is her own prerogative right. If she meets all the requirements, she will get that child into the country. Benefit or no benefit, that's a secondary matter. In terms of getting that child in, she doesn't have to meet the income threshold because it's a child, it's not a partner that she's bringing into the country. Show clear? Kò kí ṣe ọkọ tàbí ìyàwó ló fẹ́ mú wọlé, ọmọ ló fẹ́ mú wọlé. So in that case, one need access a lórí income. But the reason why she's on benefit, she's the only one that will need to explain that when it comes to the application. And anyway, tí o bá clear, ẹ sọ fún ìyá ọlọ́mọ kó wá fún consultation. Okay, no problem. Telephone number to call in the office on Monday is 0208 309 8808. 0208 309 8808. Thank you. Yeah, bye. Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes, please, ma.
Go on, madam.
Yes, ma. The first one to me 7 years. One know that he put in an application for me.
Okay. Kí lẹ pé ẹni tó dàgbà orúkọ kí ni age ẹni tó dàgbà jù?
7 years woman.
Okay. 7 years old.
7 in January.
Ibi balẹ̀ dẹ̀ bí sí àbí?
Then,
Right, okay. So kí lẹ fẹ́ mọ̀ nísìn?
putting your application with 7 years in she may be willing. I've been 10 years because I'm already for 10 years or 7 years.
All depend on the individual circumstances. All depend on the individual circumstances.
Okay.
Ṣé ti yé yín?
Sorry, ma, I think my people should do application only 7 years in.
Yes, why tell you be wale, but you need to come to office for advice first and let me know your situation before we can then advise whether you should wait or not.
Okay, ma.
Yeah.
Okay, ma.
Okay?
Thank you so much, ma.
All right, yeah, bye.
All right, ma.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you, ma.
Bye. You see, regardless of any advice that I may giving online, it's a generic advice. You will be in a better position to book appointments and come to office for one-to-one consultation, which is on 0208 309 8808. 0208 309 8808. That is the office number. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, ẹ káàsán o.
Ẹ káàsán ma.
Yes, ma.
Ẹ jẹ́ mo fẹ́ bá lọ́ọ̀yà Tókunbọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ni.
Èmi mo ń sọ̀rọ̀ ma, ẹ kárí ọ̀ma.
Okay, ẹ káàsán ma.
Ẹ káàsán ma.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ma, mo fẹ́ béèrè ìbéèrè ni ma.
Ok, ẹ tẹ̀síwájú ma kíákíá.
Okay, mo ní ọmọ British kan bọ̀ bàbá ẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Mo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá rí màárì. Mo ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá bímọ fún ẹlòmíì.
Ok ma, go on.
Bọ̀ èmi ní 2.5 lọ́wọ́, mo á wò bóyá mo lè ṣèwé fún bàbá ọmọ yẹn àti ọmọ tí mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé.
Ẹ dúró náà mi gẹ́ẹ̀tì yín dáadáa. Ẹ ní ọmọ British tẹ́lẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ma.
Bóyá àti bàbá ẹ̀ ò sí papọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ wá wà in another relationship
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
pẹ̀lú ẹlòmíì. Ṣé ẹ ti gba second term? Ṣé ẹ ti gba second term 2.5 years míì ni?
Mi ò tí gbà.
Ìgbà wo tọwọ́ yín máa tán?
Tó máa tán ní next year June.
Can I now advise you to wait? Because you only have 1 year left, and that is what they will give to that person.
Okay.
That'll be a lot of, that'll be a whole waste of money, lot of waste of money. So I think you should wait. Don't do it yet.
Okay, ma.
Because in the first instance, the person will have to show that he's living with you for 2 years or more anyway. And not only that, they don't allow partners. So the person will have to show relationship with the child that has British passport.
Okay.
About the British passport, the gbọ́dọ̀ show relationship yẹn pẹ̀lú pé òun lòun lọ school, òun tọ́jú òun ṣe. But bear it in mind, that was the responsibility you claimed that you had, and that was why that's why you were granted. But anyway, hold on until you finish your remaining 1 year anyway, and then come for advice.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, ma. Bye, ma.
All right, ma.
We're talking about how to regularize your status in the United Kingdom. I see níbẹ̀ la bá wọn dá sí. Ohun tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ni gbígba ìwé ìgbèlú. Wọ́n tó bá ṣẹ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, kí gan ni àwọn àjò tó lè rìn tó fi lè gba ìwé ìgbèlú ẹ̀. Òun là ń sọ lọ́wọ́. Àwọn ọ̀nà wo ìgbésẹ̀ wo lẹ lè gbé tó fi lè avoid the refusal. Tá a fẹ́ mú ọkọ wọlé, a fẹ́ mú ìyàwó wọlé. Those are the things we are talking about. Hello?
Hello, ma.
Yeah.
Ẹ káàsán, ma.
Ẹ káàsán o.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ma, mo fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ advice mi. Mo ti gba indefinite mi. Mo dẹ̀ ní ọmọ méjì ní Naija. Boy, ọmọ mi kejì yẹn, àbúrò mi kan ti fẹ́ mu wọlé tẹ́lẹ̀ rí. Tó ti lo because ọdún ẹ̀ ló ń gbé. Tó ti lo gbogbo details ẹ̀ pé òun ló ń bí òun ṣe everything. Ṣùgbọ́n ó refuse wọn. Wọ́n fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ṣé mo lè claim ọmọ yẹn padà.
About any time, I offer advice, madam.
Okay, ma.
Yeah. We're still at the studio, Nigeria 101.1 FM. My name is Tokunbo Olagbaye. Èmi jókòó in Jasha. Orúkọ tèmi ni Tokunbo Olagbaye. Ògbónágbòǹgbò agbẹjọ́rò nínú ìlú Ilé èmi jẹ́. Ó dẹ̀ dá mi lójú àwọn advice tí mò ń fún yín. Tí ò bá sí lórí inú òfin, mi ò ní sọ síta. Tó bá wà ní òfin, màá gbà yín ní ìmọ̀ràn. Àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ tí ẹ kẹ́ gbé, the necessary steps you have to take in order to secure the grant of your status in the United Kingdom. It's becoming more complex and difficult this time around. So when we talk of regularize of your status in the UK, you have to comply and purport yourself very well, you know, before you can scale through. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Number one. Hello?
Ẹ ti wà ní line, ẹ wà ní live radio lẹ́wà, orí radio lẹ́wà.
Okay, number one any cash receiver.
Right one náà lẹ ń pè yẹn, ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ fẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ni?
Ọmọbìnrin.
Ṣé ẹ fẹ́ bá mi sọ̀rọ̀ ni?
Jọ̀ọ́ máa mọ orí ní ìmọ̀ tí wà láti ní Newcastle ni mo ti ń sọ̀rọ̀.
Okay, mate. Thank you. Oh, yeah, carry on.
Okay, ma. Jọ̀ọ́ mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ni mo ní refugee 2 years ni mo ti gbà. So ọmọ mi wá jẹ́ 12 years tí mo bí síbi. Bọ̀ lọ́yà wa sọ pé a lè fi ìgbà tẹ́lẹ̀ tí ìgbà British P a lè fi ìgbà British P sọ́kùn yẹn.
Ẹ̀yin ò tí gba British passport. Can you repeat yourself, madam? Madam, ṣé ń gbọ́ mi? Hello?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, refugee ni mo ní lọ́wọ́, wọ́n fún mi ní 5 years.
Okay.
Wọ́n fún mi ní 5 years refugee. Lọ́wọ́ àwọn sọ pé ìgbà tí mi ò tí gba British P. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, òótọ́ ni, because ẹ ti gba residence, ẹ ti gba permanent. Tẹ́ bá gba permanent lẹ lè register for ọmọ yín. Madam, can you hear me?
Ibi báyìí ni mo bímọ yẹn sí.
Ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni?
Ibi báyìí ni mo bímọ yẹn sí.
Ọmọ ọdún mélòó ni?
12 years.
Ibi báyìí lẹ bí sí rẹ̀ pé 12.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ lè register ọmọ ọlọ́mọ náà kó gbàgbé tiẹ̀, kí ló dé? Ó tiẹ̀ ti overdue gan ṣá. Madam, can you hear me?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Yes, you can register your child. Ó ti overdue.
Lọ́yà á lè sọ ìwé lọ́yà rẹ̀ sọ fún mi gbà yẹn. Ó sọ yí pé àlejò àtọ́rí pé mi ti di ètí ìgbà British.
No, that's not what the law says. Ẹ pé ọ́fíìsì kẹwàá fún consultation, madam, ṣùgbọ́n kì í ṣe nǹkan tó fi sọ nìyẹn. Ọmọ yẹn ti tó gba pálí.
Okay, ma, ẹ ṣe ma.
Ẹ wá sọ́fíìsì 0208 309 8808 Newcastle lẹ́wà àbí? Àwọn èèyàn yín máa wá láti Newcastle, so whenever you have time, madam, you can come from Newcastle to London. People do travel down. But that child is entitled to British passport as of registration, Sha. Hello?
Hello, ma.
Yeah.
Hello, ma.
Yeah.
Yes, ma.
Ẹ káàsán.
I didn't pay láti fi hàn.
Okay.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, níbi question kan lọ́wọ́ ni, èlò ni wọ́n ń ṣe DNA test ní Nàìjíríà?
Àmì ò mọ̀ o. I have no knowledge. That's Nigerian currency. That changed from time to time. I haven't got clue on that.
Okay.
But the embassy will have to give you the company that you have to do the DNA with. Don't make mistake.
Yeah, because what happened is money on my Nigeria. So now we have to money British passport. Although I'm a citizen here.
How old Lama yẹn?
About 3 years, let's say.
Okay, so ẹ ti gba ìwé kẹ́ tó bí ọmọ yẹn.
Of course, yeah, it's better than back. Yes, that's fair.
I think you should get the DNA ready.
Any?
I think you should get the DNA ready.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you should get the DNA ready. Yeah. Okay? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, no. Amen. Thank you. I'm going to take this last call before I leave now. The time on radio is quite short. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wọ́n fún mi ní ọdún méjì àbọ̀.
Right.
Tẹ́lẹ̀, bọ̀ mo ti wá dé wọlé èké láti ìlú ẹ̀. Mo wá ní kíkẹ́ pé ọ̀nà ọdún méjì àbọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ bá tẹ́lẹ̀ méjì pé yàn lè dáìsì fún in there.
It depends on the circumstances you now. Somebody might overstay in the first 2.5 years. You are going to go on 10 years. So it depends on your circumstances. If you have overstayed before you get your first 2.5 years, of course you have to go on 10 years route.
Okay, overstay for how many years now?
It doesn't matter, but the moment you have run out of visa before they gave you, it means that you were granted under EX1, exceptional circumstances, based on the fact that you have a child that is 7 years or British or partner. And that's the reason why they granted you. And if that is the reason why you were granted, it will mean that you have to wait for 10 years to get your before you can get your indefinite leave to remain.
All right, now.
Okay? Thank you. All right, bye. I have to go now. Time is not on my side because we are in studio. This is not an arena where we can spend 2 hours or 3 hours. It's a very, very tight schedule arena whereby everybody will have to come in slots and use their time and go out. So I'm spending my time, which I have just completed, and I think I was given extra time anyway, so I acknowledge that, but they are owing me time as well because they made me wait. So my engineer is smiling and I'm smiling here. So I have to thank you all. The program is coming to an end because time is not on our side, and we will go on again we'll be on again next week, Saturday. But before then, you might see me online on Facebook to come on and discuss matters that are, pressing with regards to the issue of immigration. But like I said, to round up what I have discussed with you, the appeal right now has been boiled down to only 4 reasons instead of 17. And most especially among the foreign criminals now, criminal cases is one of the reasons why they boil it down to 4, because they are trying not to allow the criminals in the foreign issues to prevent deportation simply by dragging out the appeal process. So that is the reason why, one of the reasons why. So the reason is that you have to go to your country and go and apply and go and prepare your appeal there, unless you can show that it will be unduly harsh. And unduly harsh is difficult. So that would have to be in the serious cases whereby somebody has claimed asylum and is saying that if he's returned back to his country, he will face torture, persecution. That is what they call unduly harsh. So the Secretary of State will have to look at it again and then give an appeal right in the country. But apart from that, in other cases here, you really have to show, articulate to the core, you really have to show that it's really necessary for you to remain in the UK and to make your appeal. If you have run out of visa before you put in an application and you are not given right of appeal, you're going to find it difficult. So they have introduced administrative review, whereby you can now ask for a review so that you can now speed up the time rather than piling up everything to court all the time and building up cases unnecessarily. You go through administrative review. Administrative review, you still have to pay for it, but it's quicker. Within 28 days, you will get your answer to the review. If there is an administrative error, which means that you're saying caseworker made an error, so you're asking for a review. So those are the things that you have to take into account. So appeal has already been boiled down to 4 reasons. Majorly for you to use appeal will be on human rights ground. And if you don't have a strong human right, they're not going to give you rights of appeal in the country. The rest will have to be outside the country. And rounding up what I've said on the spouse entry clearance, remember your bank statement, pay slips is quite crucial, P60. But when it comes to time you want to do it, please come to my office and come and take advice. Do not take anything for it like this. If you're missing 2 months out of your bank statement and you are refused, you're not going to succeed on appeal. If you are missing 2 months or your payment does not corroborate with what you said on pay slips in your bank statement, you're not going to succeed on appeal. So you would rather be better off to make a new application to the entry clearance rather than waiting for 18 daunting months to get your appeal heard and waste money and stress yourself. So there will be no need. So if you're missing, the job of caseworker is not to be looking for missing period of bank statement. Flexibility rule does not apply in situations like this. So you really have to understand how the appeal work now. Since 2014 Act, it's now becoming more difficult for people to rely on appeal, to put in an application. If you are refused, then you have to be taking a fresh application and meet the reason why you were refused on your second application so that you will not come and waste time. So that is the issue. I have to go now. Yeah, I have to go now, and I want to appreciate you all. Telephone number in the office is 0208-309-8808. We are open Monday to Friday, and Saturday is just by appointment only. If you want to come in on Saturday, you have to book in advance so that we will know which Saturday to come and meet you in the office. I want to say thank you to every one of you listening to me, and I'll be back again. I remain humble. Thank you.
Nigeria, of course, pẹ̀lú bí mo ti làkàkà láti dé lu yìí, àtúwá dé bẹ̀tàn. Orí ọwọ́ bákan náà ni èyí iṣẹ́ àárín ìlú sí fọkànbalẹ̀. Bí mo bá rìn lórí títì, níṣẹ́ ni máa bá wo fẹ̀tùfẹ̀tù bí olè tó fẹ́ jáṣọ gbé lọ́jà torí tọwọ́ ọlọ́pàá bá tẹ̀ mí. Ọkọ̀ folúwẹ̀ sọ̀kò sí Nàìjà ní kódà bí mo bá fi lè kọjá aago 5 ìdájí kí n tó bọ́ síta nínú ilé. Tí home office bá ká mi mọ́lé, tèmi bá mi nìyẹn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni gbogbo nǹkan tó ń fi àjẹ mi, ó tún ta ìnúwé ìgbélú lọ. Ohun tó kéré gbà tó ti gbọ́ nípa ìyáàfin Tòkunbọ̀ Lágbàyé akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ lọ́yà olùdásílẹ̀ ní ṣe Brightway Immigration and Asylum Practitioners. Ọgbà ní second floor 4016 Louis Street Woodleys nílùú London. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni 020-8309-8808 tàbí 07885-605-072. Ìwé ìgbélú ìrọ̀rùn ìbádé lọ́dọ̀ ìyáàfin Tòkunbọ̀ Lágbàyé kàn sí wọn níbẹ̀. Ní ẹsẹ̀ Brightway Immigration and Asylum Practitioners. Samuel mo ti wẹ́ délé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà tí mi bá ẹ nígbà gan ló ń sùn.